Miller is the President and CEO for TechSearch. We today have two centers, one in Singapore, which is the headquarters, and the other is a service operations center in Cebu, Philippines, which is growing into a 24/7 service operations center for us. Okay. Our main areas that we serve are engineering, procurement, construction, and owner-operator companies, as well as equipment vendors. Of course, chemical companies. When I say owner-operators, it could be refineries, chemical companies, pharmaceutical companies, and all those that need our services. The unique thing about our team is the team comes from the industry. So most of the technical experts that we have in our team have been working with EPCs or plant owners in the past, and they do understand the language, they do understand the requirements, they do understand the expectation. So they have a combination of project expertise, domain expertise, as well as deep knowledge in the applications that they have been working on. So this positions us in a unique position to consult with customers and share the best practices that we have learned all the way. We have been recently certified in Singapore for ISO 9001. So, as a mission statement from our CEO, TechSearch is passionate about making the use of complex engineering software easy. So this is what is our mission statement. This is what we do, and we are into engineering IT services. Okay. So in other words, we would like to say that we will be the leader in managed services by delivering complex engineering software applications that are ready to use and enable our clients to maximize return on investment. Our expertise spreads across various platforms like Hexagon, Aviva, Autodesk, Bentley, and we appreciate this neutrality so that we can bring this value to the end customer. The end customer also values this neutrality because they do not want any bias when they have to make a decision for a service on how to execute the service. On capabilities, starting from content and data migration and transformation, we have done quite a bit of this work in the past. When I say data migration, it means even migrating plants from PDS to Smart 3D, or say Smart 3D to PDMS, so whichever direction. So we have an expertise to read from and write back to any platform. So that's our skill, and that's our niche. So that's how we have handled a lot of projects here. Specifications catalogs, as you are aware, we did a project for you guys. Symbols and assemblies, drawings, reports, data sheets, and more recently analytics, quality, and auditing. This is one area where we have started recently helping plant owners. Many times plant owners do not have enough resources and enough capabilities to look into or audit the quality of data coming from the EPC. So they engage us either during the review stage or during the handover stage, or post like a forensic auditing. So we take up all kinds of auditing and quality checking for the end customer. On applications and infrastructure, we do system implementation and integration. So what we mean is, apart from implementing individual pieces of applications, we also can do an integration. And let's say there is a need for implementing software like SPF or Smart Plant Materials. It's not only the individual software or application that needs to be implemented, it also has to be tied into to any third-party vendor system that you use, or any legacy system that you use. So we do all that stuff. Customization and bespoke development, of course, for all applications across the gamut. And as I said, business process consulting, because we have experts coming in from the industry who know the best practices and who would like to, kind of consult with end customers, passing on these best practices to the end customer. More recently into engineering digitalization. I'm not going to go very deep into this because, as you may be aware, the term digitalization is a buzzword today, and every company out there has a different meaning out of this and have a different connotation to this digitalization. So we can participate in our own way, in whichever way the customer wants us to. Having said that, it's something that we need to work out with the end customer when it comes to digitalization. Engineering data management and learning. We are in a very nascent stage with learning, so we are trying to build a kind of a portal-based academy through which we want to provide audiovisual learning system to the end customer through an LMS-based system. So this is in the very nascent stage. Now we are in the process of building the content. Okay. A snapshot of our customers doesn't include all of them, but yes, a few of them. Quickly getting into our main areas, data migration and transformation. So, as I said, we do understand and we want to leverage the value of your investment when it comes to upgrading or migrating or merging separate engineering data. And we have a wide portfolio of this expertise that we have done for various customers globally. And one of the most important things is our vendor neutrality. Now, the vendor neutrality helps us provide value to the end customer. And, as I said, since we have this expertise of reading from and writing back to any other system, it helps executing projects for end customers without the need to change a system just because there is a need for a project to use a different system. Specifications and catalogs. So we, as you are aware, we did some work for Nova, but nevertheless, we have a lot of experience working with various global customers doing this type of work. So it could be specifications on any platform, say S3D, SPRD, PDMS, what do you like. And the other stuff is many companies have standardized on SPRD, so we do build specs on SPRD, as well as we help companies configure the interface to various design systems. So we have done the configurations for PDS, PDMS, S3D, and even OpenPlant. So this is our experience widely across all platforms. And yeah, depending upon the need of the customer, we can build specs and catalogs as is required. One other important point I want to bring here is the standard database, or SDB, that you are aware, which is provided by Intergraph, was something that was developed by us in a subcontract mode to Intergraph. So we have deep expertise in the areas of specifications and catalogs. Okay. I would pause here to ask if you have any questions. I don't want to sound a kind of a unilateral way of a dialogue.
Questions as I went along, but you can have a few of them if you want so far.
Yes, please.
But you said you have 50 plus people in the organization?
Yes.
How many of those are in Singapore and how many in the Philippines?
Well, the split is like this. I mean, not in numbers, but mainly Singapore houses all the leads and project managers, and Cebu is mainly the execution team. So when we are given a project, we use these leads to drive the team. So it works in this way. So roughly, it's all the leads sitting in Singapore, and team per vertical is sitting in the Cebu office.
Okay, and how does that work? By having them, I know they're not, well, they are remote, but they're not like major remote. How do you get the leads and the execution team working when they're in different locations?
Yeah, so most of the work that we render is remote. I mean, we do not believe that we should go on site to complete a service. You have seen that we have delivered to you remotely. So when we say that we have two of our organizations working remotely together and accessing a common server or accessing a common database, and this is how we deliver, and so it doesn't matter that we are sitting in two different places or two different locations. There is a proper, kind of a way of working or a kind of a task-based system that we have, which allows us to have the team collaborate with the leads to execute a project.
Do you ever have people based at a location of a client?
Yes. Not really a location of the client, but we do have some people spread across. Like one of our leads for reference data, Karine, as you are all aware, she works from London office. So there are a few people working from different areas. So majorly Singapore and Cebu are our locations, but we do have people spread across a few of them. And client locations is only when there is a real need for that. Obviously, having people on the client location is a more expensive model for the end client than doing work from remote, because when you work remotely, you have the access to the team, and yeah, that's more important than having the individual on site. You see,
you also mentioned that you do business process consulting.
Yes.
Now some of that can be done remotely, but some of that needs a lot of interaction with the client.
Yes, I do agree. Yeah, absolutely.
So, to be honest, I would imagine that is beneficial if it's done face to face.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. So when I say remote, I don't mean that we do not come face to face at all. What the normal practice is, like if we are handed over a project, say for consulting or implementation, we would initially have some workshops on site, where we would come and face to face with all the stakeholders, take on all the notes that we want to, and ask all the questions to the right people, get all the information, and then do the work remotely, and maybe come back at the end to deliver and restore and probably hand over. So this is the model that we normally work on. So it's a combination of on-site and off-site, but we try to do major part of the work from remote. But as you said, consulting needs a lot of face-to-face interaction. So I agree with you on that. So that may need on-site visits and combined with teamwork. Yes, definitely.
Do you have any people based in North America?
Sorry, based in?
North America. You said you have someone in London?
Yeah. Not yet. So the idea is to be able to serve clients in a 24/7 model, which means even though we are working remote from various offices, we would be able to support you in your time zone. So that's the idea for this kind of a service model. And as you said, when there's a need to come on site to North America, there's not a problem at all. We can deploy our people on visits and get the information and come back and work with the team, again go back and deliver and hand over.
So, but you don't have any plans to have anybody based in North America?
We do have, but it may take a little bit more time on that. We do have plans to set up an office in Houston, but that depends on companies' priorities at this point in time. But this is something that is in our plan. Yeah.
All right. You were saying that you are vendor neutral.
Yes.
Is that possible if you're doing a lot of work with these suppliers like Hexagon and whatever?
Look, we are not when I say working, we have a combination. There is some work that we do with end customers, like we are working with you directly. Mm-hmm. In some cases, Hexagon, we do not have any arrangement with Hexagon to work through them or not. The thing is, there's a combination. In some countries, Hexagon works along with us, and in some, we even are like competing with them. And in other areas, we are directly working with customers. So it's not across the board that we work with vendors. It's only when there is a need from their side that they need help in certain services for certain customers in certain regions. We do work with them, but we don't have any agreement in place that we will go through them and anything of that sort. So this is where we have our neutrality, that we work with various clients having various requirements. For example, we have given you an offer for also working for exporting data from our SRD to Autoplant. So all that is possible because we have this expertise across various platforms. And when we say vendor neutral, we like to remain that way because we do not want to cloud the decisions of the end customer with a vendor-dependent product. So any service that we offer should be based on which are the best choices for that service or which are the best products for the service. So that's what we value.
Any more questions?
None for me, no.
Nope, not yet.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, thanks. So continuing again on specifications and catalogs, we build symbols, libraries for piping symbols, for equipment, for electrical raceways and hangers and support. So this we have been doing for many, many years, and we have supported clients globally for this kind of work.
Actually, I have a question on that. Do you have any experience with the latest release of SRD's pipe support? Hangers and
Sorry, latest release of SRD?
So the latest release comes with piping services. Do you guys have any experience in deploying those?
So you're talking about the SDB for symbols, is it?
The default format of what comes with SDB delivered from Hexagon. Have you rolled those out to any?
I think there is a little bit of a, if I may say, that Hexagon has kept something to themselves. The SDB from Hexagon is something that they have done on a case-by-case basis for each customer. So, I mean, it's something that is very close to Hexagon. So SDB especially for symbols is something that Intergraph has created different for each customer. Okay. So I think that's a little bit of a difficult part for us, but nevertheless, if you anything to do with need for symbols, we can do for you directly on S3D platform. Without the need for going through the Intergraph SDB, we can do it directly for you.
Yeah, I would understand that. That's okay.
Yeah, so that's the issue there. If it's an Intergraph SDB, then Intergraph has the access to the source code and it's their proprietary, you see.
Right.
Have you guys done any pipe supports in
Yeah.
SRDs?
Absolutely. Not in SRD. Well, the question is, in SRD, how much information can you get in there? I mean, this is the question. I'm sure we can have more detailed discussions on that with our technical team if there is a need for that. So,
my question right now is just, the information around, have you done pipe supports in SRD at this time?
Not. So
okay.
it's mainly on S3D, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, drawings, reports, and data sheets all the same. We do a lot of report configurations, drawing configurations, report developments across various, across all these gamut of applications that you use, and of course data sheets. As I said, system implementation and integration is not restricted to any particular application, but it could be enterprise systems, it could be individual systems. So we have the expertise and experience to take care of these.
Have you done any work with the Hexagon Cloud or the Hexagon suite of tools in a cloud environment?
Well, we have helped some customers who are in the SPRD cloud For example, for one of our clients, they had their SPRD instance in the Intergraph cloud. And although all that was set up by Intergraph, they wanted a kind of a cold eye review from us. And this is a major EPC company, global EPC company, which asked us to do that. And we did that review and gave them a report on what we found and what we think would be appropriate for them. So that's one engagement that we have done. But okay. irrespective of whatever cloud is being used, it's a matter of getting us the accesses, especially with Intergraph Cloud. There are certain accesses that we would need if it's required to be done through us. And of course, in such cases, it's better to go through Intergraph rather than doing it independently. And even with public clouds, we do have a lot of experience. So we have done with AWS. And certain clients wanted to test out certain applications on AWS, like installing it and testing it out, kind of a live testing. So we have done all this, yeah.
Okay. What's your opinion of the cloud?
Sorry, which?
Well, just of their software on the cloud. You know, is it difficult to use? Or is there limitations?
Well, there used to be limitations earlier, much earlier, but not now. I mean, especially with software like Smart 3D. Now, there's quite graphic intensive. But that has been worked around now, and now AWS offers quite some good hardware to support the Smart 3D, even though it's graphic intensive. So practically there's no limitation these days on any of these applications. So the only application that needs really graphic intensive is the design application like Smart 3D, but all others are data centric, so it runs smooth. So it's not a problem. Okay. Coming to customization and bespoke development, yes, this is something that we do for all across 2D, 3D, enterprise, smart plan materials, smart plan reference data. Quickly onto our delivery models. So there are distinctly two delivery models that we offer. One is called as a tech search service, and the other is a tech search on demand. So tech search on demand is a kind of a fixed price lump sum kind of delivery model, and we like to work on this model because it's a fixed budget for the customer and it's a fixed schedule for the customer. So the customer, once price is given and schedule is given, nothing changes, and at the end the project is delivered just like we did a project for you. But what's important here is the scope has to be very well documented in advance, and the scope has to be very well defined. Unless this is done, it's difficult to find a fixed price for that scope. In very rare cases, we do have a time and material kind of contract, but we ourselves don't recommend this kind of a way of a service because there is no control on the budget, as you agree. So a fixed price is having a clear definition of the scope and a clear price and a schedule for this. So this is one way. So normally this works for projects that are, of a duration more than a week or so, and where there's a requirement for a teamwork and not an individual involved here. So such projects are delivered as a service. Now, on the other hand, we have something that we call as on demand. When I say on demand, this means this covers various aspects. One is application support and application administration on the one hand. On the other hand, it covers the delivery of unitized tasks, if I may put it that way. Say tasks like spec building, tasks like symbol creation. These all can be unitized in a way that I can provide you unit rates for that. And even if you do not have quantities, the knowledge of quantities that you would require at this point in time, you could enter into a subscription model with on demand and say, and kind of pay as you go. We would provide you unit rates, and each month the quantity of units that you use, you will be invoiced based on that. So This is more for smaller tasks. This is more for to help you work around the administration required to generate POs for small activities. So that's why we have this on demand, which is kind of a subscription spread across a year. So these are basically the main delivery models that we have for service. Equally, you could do these unitized works also in a lump sum. So when you know that you have about 30 specs, 40 specs or 50 specs, which you would hand over all together, we could scope it out and provide you a lump sum contract. So there are two methodologies here which are very distinct, and this is what we deliver to our end customers. Okay?
Do you have a standard list of what you call units of work?
Yes. We do have, yes. So
could we have a copy of that?
Yes, we can, unless you let me know which areas you're looking at. So these units could be around Smart 3D, it could be around reference data. So it really requires an initial definition of, here also I would go on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah. All of the above. All the smart plans.
Okay.
Everything.
Okay, no problem. I will try to put together something for you in terms of units for the ones that are quite well defined, and yeah, that's not a problem. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Now, quickly, let me get into the TechSearch on-demand methodology. So before I get here, I think I should go and take you to this slide first. What I really mean as an on-demand scenario. Now, first is, why do you require on-demand? When I say on-demand, it is like supporting your team or your users for the application that they're using in operations. It's really nothing to do with the software. The software could come from the third-party vendor, and the vendor would have trained your team. But when your team starts using the software and from day one in the project, that's where they have a lot of issues using the software for meeting the project needs. And that's where we come across this need for on-demand. Now, various scenarios that I've listed here, which we see as the main scenarios that most of our customers look at. You may want to do a cost reduction, which is like you don't want to have in-house people added for anything to do with software or application administration or application support. Or you may have a remote location in a country or a place which you are not able to support from your headquarters, so you need some local support for there. When I say local support, I mean still a remote support, but it's in the time zone of this location. Okay. Thirdly, you are using non-core technology or a new technology that's very new to your company. So you wouldn't want to, your experience has been with the other technology, but this is something new. So you would want to have help in supporting your team use this new technology in delivering your project. Small organizations definitely doesn't fit you. Staff augmentation. This is another scenario. I mean, you have enough people for administering, for using the software, but they are not enough for you at any point in time. Or there is a project peak where you would like to engage external parties to help you with the support and help you with the administration of the application. So this is one other scenario. Strategic outsourcing. So the company decides, well, the core job of your company is to maintain your plant or keep your plant up to a particular level, and IT and engineering IT services are not something that is core to you, so you would like to outsource this. And multi-party collaboration comes in with more with the engineering companies. When they collaborate with their own competitors for a particular project, they wouldn't want to expose their intellectual property. So these are the scenarios where you really require on demand. Quickly going back into this slide to make clear the responsibility model, because many times we are asked a question, how are you different from the maintenance agreement that we have with the software vendor? So the answer is you still need this maintenance of the software. We are not coming in the way of that, because all the software product support, hotfixes, service packs comes from the vendor. And that's requirement. That's the base of the pyramid. We are on the layer above where we are supporting you on hands-on operational user support. We support you for your specific workflows, configurations, interfaces, integrations that you already have, or your customizations. And we, on the other hand, interface with your users or super users. Many companies have super users, which is that all the level 1 support for any application is provided by a set of people or one person who answers all the global users. And there may be difficulties for certain time zones. So here is where we can plug in. And also for more deeper expertise like L2 and level 2 and level 3, the reliance will be more on external companies like us. So this is where we fit exactly, where on one hand we interface with your users and super users, on the other hand we sit above the layer of the maintenance. And if there is a need to interface with a software vendor for any bugs or anything that you see as kind of a module not working, we would help post that problem or troubleshoot it with the vendor. So this is really the responsibility matrix for the on-demand. Going a slide backward, what I mean really with on-demand for application support is answering your user questions, troubleshooting your user data application problems, coordinating with the software vendor, as I said, if there's a need for that, and performing all the administration tasks and managing and monitoring the applications so that you get an output which is very similar to having your own administration done in-house. So the only difference is you're outsourcing the whole process to an external company. So that's what all on-demand is about. Quickly getting into the process, how it works. There are 3 distinct phases to on-demand. The first is a discovery phase, as you had referred earlier. This discovery phase is in most cases an on-site visit by our support team or lead to capture how you want to use this software, what are your project needs, who are the main stakeholders, who are the main coordinators, and all this is brought into a customer handbook. And this customer handbook is available to the customer as well as to our own support team. Then comes the next phase, which is the actual operations phase, when you sign up with us with a service level agreement and get access to our portal. And this portal is the interface between us and the customer, where it's a ticket-based portal. So if a user logs a problem or an issue, there is a ticket generated and there is a specific time frame given to solve the problem. Okay.
Still there again?
He must be disconnected.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, he'll be back, I'm sure.
Somebody dropped the bomb. Singapore's gone.
Sorry, got chucked out. Sorry, guys. Yeah. So I'm hoping I got thrown out in this slide. Okay? Or did you miss anything more?
It's loading.
One sec. There we go. Yep.
You're in operations when we were talking.
Okay, great. Excellent. So all this is completely outsourcing what your admin does, but the idea is your admin is wearing number of hats, so he's doing not only administration, he's doing other value-added services. So our story to the customer is let your admin do more valuable work, which is valuable for the company, and let the IT part of it be outsourced to us. So this is the part. And finally, the phase is management, where we come up with monthly reports, and these monthly reports give a list of all the calls that were logged in the month, how many were answered, how many were not answered, what were the reasons for not answering them, what kind of action points are there for your users or for us, and if there is any impending administration activity like or scheduled activity, all that will come into this report. So this is kind of a management information system for you to understand how this particular application is being used and how is your investment protected and what is the level of the users. Sometimes looking at the kind of tickets that were open, you can get a guess on what is the level of the user. If there's a need to improve their knowledge, there may be a need for training them, or something like that. So all this information is kind of contained in this monthly report, which gives you an overview. Okay. And finally, we do have periodic feedback meetings where we take feedback from the customers on how we could improve, how we could improve our services on the one hand, and what they think is lacking or what's good or bad, all that. So this feedback is fed back to the system, and all kinds of improvements are made to meet the expectations of the customer. Okay. So that's about all what I intended to show you today from a point of view of our delivery models, and mainly harping on the fixed price service delivery and the on-demand. So if you have any questions, I would be happy to take them.
Asked everything that's come up.
I mean, you said you were founded in 2015 and you've now got over 50 people. What are your sort of expectations for the next 5 years?
Well, there is quite some growth, especially when we look into the service operations center in Cebu. There's a very fast-growing place already, and we started with in 3 years it's come to a level of 50, but we think this can grow much more. And yeah, definitely the vision is to build the team in such a way that we are able to cater to more and more customers globally, and especially with this remote model.
How do you keep the skills of the people that you've employed up to date?
Well, there are constant training programs, in-project training programs, cross-trainings from various teams. So it's not that we don't compartmentalize the team into only one expertise. We try to reuse the team as much as we can in all areas, depending upon the skill levels and depending upon how eager they are to learn. So there's constant trainings that we keep doing to the team and with the leads.
Do all your people go through the Hexagon training program?
Well, not really. Honestly speaking, I think collectively we have much deeper expertise in all the applications that we are talking here, and many times Hexagon comes us for help for their customers.
So you don't put people through the program?
Not really. As I said, these all already have been through the program, worked with customers, worked in their own organizations earlier, and they have come and they're already having a particular level of expertise. And the new ones are trained by these people. We train them ourselves. Yeah.
Okay. So sorry, you're saying that the people that you recruit have already been through the program?
In case we take experienced people, yes, they are from the industry. So when they are from the industry, they are using the software, which means that they have been trained either by their company or by Hexagon. And when they come in, they're coming with an experience to us. We do take people directly from the university, but that's a very, very limited, very, very few, unless they kind of prove themselves. So mainly it's at least a minimum experience of 3 to 5 years, and the very low level of designers. And as we go up, the experience level need is more.
But that experience is of using the tools?
Yes.
Right. But is it a requirement that they've actually been through 3D training courses or whatever? You don't take that as a requirement when you recruit?
I mean, it's not a mandatory stuff that they should be trained by Hexagon. It's not mandatory for us. For us, it's more important that they have used the tool in the real world, in a real project.
Yeah, but there's the real world and then there's how it should be used. And we know that the tools aren't always applied as they should be applied in the real world.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we ensure that they're using them in the way that they're intended?
So you mean to say if they're trained from Hexagon, then that would be a kind of a certificate or certifying that this is the,
Well,
they know that.
It's some means of showing that they've actually been through a training program that has got structure to it. If you just learn on the job, it applies to every trade, never mind, every profession, never mind just this.
Yeah. Well, I do get your point. What I'm only saying is, at this point in time, the mandate for us is to see that a tool is being used in a proper way, and also that the person that we're taking on board has got a history of performance in that companies. And we are talking about EPCs, and we're talking about plant owners where they have been previously. So
Yeah,
we do not have, at this point, honestly, we do not have a kind of a must or a mandate for looking if they're certified from Hexagon or not. I mean,
I'm not trying to make out that is a gold standard. I'm just saying it's a standard.
I get your point. I'm not denying also. I'm not denying that. What I'm only saying is that's not necessarily an entry criteria for us in the company. That's what I'm saying.
I hear that. That's okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
No, I think that was it for me.
Okay.
Really appreciate that. That was really helpful. That gives me a good overview.
Yeah.
Any chance of a copy of the presentation?
Sure. I will send you the copy of the presentation for sure.
That would be terrific. And just the other follow-up was that list of units of work.
Yes.
And whatever you can do. Maybe I was asking too much, but even just a shortened version of that, just an indication of the sort of things you normally include within the on-demand arrangement. That would be helpful as well.
And further to that, if you could possibly provide a list of all the tools that you do provide services for. So.
Okay. One thing that I missed out showing is really the website. Now, can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So the website, if you see here, has got a section on work examples under services. So you have all kinds of work examples for various verticals like logical and schematic design, physical design, material management, information management, integration. So these are very, very elaborate pages where you could click and get to know what kind of work has been done here. Okay? That is on the one hand, which will give you a kind of a snapshot of various examples that we have done. The other one is really our references page, where we have a timeline-based project execution references for various customers that we have worked worldwide. So this gives you quite some information. And over and above that, if you do need anything, definitely reach out to us. I would be happy to provide you more information. Yeah? Is this okay?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah. So probably, as I'm showing you, this Borealis is kind of a partner company to you guys, or
sister company of Nova.
Sister company. Yeah, we have done quite some work for Borealis. So also in the area of specs, and yeah, Thomas Biegler, I can refer you in Austria.
Mm-hmm.
So you could.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, yeah. So very happy with our work so far, and yeah. We did some migration work also for Borealis. They had a plan to expand their plants, so we migrated all their equipment to Smart 3D in an intelligent way. So that was just in the beginning of this year.
Just on that top left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and a lot of piping specification work, and the specs are very, very demanding specs that Borealis have. So, this is one thing that we are doing through Hexagon Austria. So,
Right.
Hexagon Austria approached us to help Borealis with these stuff.
All right.
Yep, that's great.
Yeah, and you can see here we also provide training to Hexagon for Smart 3D Hangar and support.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay. So please go through our website, and there's a lot of information, loads of information out there. And should you require anything more, please feel free to contact me. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah. Thanks very much indeed.
Okay. Thanks a lot, guys. Yeah. Please.
One last thing. Your email this morning there, Rengen.
Yes.
I'm going to work on it. I'm quite busy this morning, so I won't get to it till this afternoon, but I'll try and get you an answer there today.
Okay, Curtis. Thanks a lot. That would help. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much for the time,
you.
and
Hey.
appreciate it. And I have the next steps lined up. Yeah.
All right. Perfect.
Perfect.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you guys. Bye.